Good evening, everyone. This is Ron Tyler with Emergency Management Associates coming to you live from the Crossroads of the West in Salt Lake City, Utah. The time right now is 6:23 p.m. We wanted to be coming to you earlier, but we had some issues we had to take care of. We're sorry that we are running just a little bit late tonight. We apologize for that. We will try to be on the air with you uh, at 6 o'clock uh, from now on going forward. But like I said, we had some issues tonight we had to take care of, and we got those things taken care of, and now we're here with you tonight. We want to welcome everybody that has or will be joining us tonight here on the Freedom Revolution Network. The Emergency Management Associates uh, program tonight. This is a program of importance, as it always is. We will be talking about earthquakes, and we'll be talking about the coronavirus. Now, in talking about earthquakes, there are quite a few earthquakes that have hit us today. We want to talk about those because they are very concerning. They're very concerning to us in that they have hit and they are very strong earthquakes. In the case in some areas, they are not normal earthquakes as we have had hit in the past while. They are stronger than normal. And so we want to make everybody aware of what is going on so you guys can prepare for whatever happens. And that has always been our motto, to make sure that everyone is prepared. So that's exactly what we plan on doing. With the coronavirus, let's start there. Okay, let's start there. We have some issues with the coronavirus, as you might imagine. For those of you that don't know or haven't been part of the media blitz today, some of the mainstream media have reported it, others have not. In regards to the coronavirus, it is continuing to spread. It is spreading like wildfire. Over in Singapore, they've announced 14 more cases. Over on the cruise ship off the coast of Japan, we have 69 more cases of the coronavirus, COVID-19 as they want to call it. We have more information that came out early this morning that COVID-19 cases over in China have increased to 59,804. Now, this makes a lot more sense than it had as of yesterday or the day before that or even 2 weeks ago. Because like we have reported before, as we have reported before, we don't believe that China has been telling the truth, and I still don't believe they're telling the entire truth. What I believe is that they're only giving us information that they want us to know. As I have stated before, we have funeral homes that have reported having cremated anywhere from 200 to 700 people a day. We have satellites monitoring China now that are reporting increases in CO2 and SO2 emissions in the area of Wuhan City and various others, meaning that the SO2 emissions and CO2 emissions mean that they are either destroying vegetation or they're destroying people, burning people. And that concerns us a great deal because they're not reporting exactly what is happening. Already, COVID-19 has claimed more lives than SARS ever did. We have a death toll now that China has said that there's 1,376 people that have died. No, no. It's a lot more than that. The cases are 59,809, 59,809. Deaths, 1,376. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. And I won't. They're lying to us. Um, I I have to believe that we're not getting even half the information we need to have. We have more people that have been exposed here in the United States. Both or all three of the military bases in California alone are reporting more people exposed. We have another report of exposure over in North Dakota and Montana. We have an exposure case uh, that has been confirmed over in Austin, Texas, and that person has been put into quarantine. The cases in Montana and North Dakota, they are investigating and keeping a close eye on because they have not been confirmed. But this virus is spreading like wildfire, as you can well imagine. And these states are not the only places that we're seeing the coronavirus. They're not. So you need to make up your own minds on what you're going to believe and what you're not going to believe. But we're trying to give you the information that we have so you can make those decisions. You need to protect yourselves. We have given you information, even as of last night, about getting yourselves prepared with masks. Now, they are advertising masks on wish.com. Of course, that's where a lot of the medical supplies come from. But if you think you're going to get masks from China at this point in time, they can't even get masks to their own people or even provide enough masks and PPE, meaning personal protection equipment, for the doctors and nurses that are handling the cases in China. And as a result, doctors and nurses are now expiring as well. So if you have the ability to go to your pharmacist, to your pharmacy, drugstores, Walmart, um, over to Home Depot or any place else, and medical supply houses where you can get masks, I urge you to do so. One of our dear friends, Surgery, is carrying one on his person at all times, and he told me late last night he's going to be starting to wear it all the time on his job. Now, I'm also being told, not necessarily by Surgery, but others that work in the healthcare field, that they're talking as if it doesn't matter, that what is going on is overtalk. It's gone into the area of explosive talk, meaning too many people talking about it, too much non-truth involved. In other words, fake news. And who is providing the fake news, I wonder? Again, two cable networks that I know of, maybe three. Actually, two are affiliated with the same network, and another one is a fake news network on cable. And all the broadcast networks on regular channels on the boob tube. So you can make up your own minds what you want to do. I urge you to take whatever precautions that you deem necessary to protect yourselves, your families, your friends, and your employees. Travel has been cut off from more cities in the United States and around the world to China. United Airlines and American Airlines have cut off service from various cities and countries to China. And many other governments have cut off relations with China, and they won't send employees or anything else to and from China until this thing is gotten a handle on. and rightfully so. We also, I forgot to mention that we've also got cases in Africa now, whereas about 2 or 3 days ago that they were denying there were any cases in Africa at all. But Africa and China have had a close relationship over the years. So why would it surprise anyone to know that there were no cases when we know there certainly must be, and today that came out that there are cases of COVID-19 in Africa, and like we've talked about before, literally all over the world as well. So take care of yourself, no matter where you are, whether you're in the United States of America, Canada, Europe, uh, the Middle East, Asia, anywhere in Asia, South America, Central America, Australia, wherever you are at. Take precautions as you see fit, because this is not over. It started a long time ago, even as far back as even November, maybe even earlier. You need to take care of yourselves because nobody's going to do it for you. Child of God says Israel has a new mask infused with copper that will kill any virus. I have not seen any information about that. Child of God, if you could send that information over to our email, we'd appreciate seeing it, and we will put it on the air. We will put it on the air and give everybody the chance of knowing about it and knowing where the information came from and what they can do to protect themselves. So with that said, that's the coronavirus. If you really want to know more about the coronavirus, I would urge you to go over to YouTube and watch the Glenn Beck Show. The Glenn Beck Show. They have done several programs on the coronavirus. Mr. Beck did another one today, and this program is a very good program. You cannot even think that it wasn't one well thought out and well produced and put together, because it has been and it still is. So I would urge you guys to check that out. It would be worth it. Child of God says they showed the information on the 700 Club. I would love to know or see the facts so I could publish it here on our program and on our website and on Facebook. I don't just put information out. Yes, I take information over here in the chat room, not necessarily as gospel, but as information people ought to be checking out. That's why we talk about it. Let everybody check it out and make up their own minds. That's the whole purpose. Let people know what's going on. Also, before we get any further into the program, I want to thank one of our sponsors, My Patriot Supply, for sponsoring our program with the myriad of food supplies that they have. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, many different kinds of food that you can choose from. I highly recommend their product, as I do another supplier that we talked about. Water and air purification systems that they offer are well thought out and are top quality. And I urge you to take advantage of that as well. My Patriot Supply, one of our sponsors of the Emergency Management Associates program. Anyway, we appreciate all of you doing what you do and providing us with information so that we can pass it on to all of you. I thank Child of God for bringing that to us today. Okay, let's go over and talk about earthquakes. Let's talk about earthquakes. Because quite honestly, we have quite a number of earthquakes to talk about, because they have happened in parts of the world where we can expect the seismic energy to spread. And that's why we're talking about it. That's exactly why we're talking about it. So let's go over here and bring it up to you. Let's see it. I'm going to bring up the map. We typically use the USGS, use the EMSC on our programs to show the earthquake seismic activity that we have here in the United States and around the world. Now, the USGS map shows only 52 earthquakes today, but they're sadly mistaken if they think that that's the only earthquakes that have happened today, because that is not the case. It frankly is not the case. Already today, we've had 163 new reported earthquakes. We've had a total of 12,115 earthquakes already this month. 12,115 earthquakes already during the month of February, and we're only to the 13th of the month. We also have today 3,404 reports of felt reports, I might say, felt reports of earthquakes that have hit. Okay, first off, let's go to one of the first reported earthquakes today. This was over in the Kuril Islands. Kuril Islands are right between Japan and Kamchatka, Russia. This earthquake came out as a 7.1, downgraded to a 7.0, and it is now at 6.9, which they've said it was. I believe it was probably higher than that. I have been busy pouring through information, not just on this earthquake, but many others, and working on the coronavirus story here, because those are the things that are most important. And I have not been able to personally go through the numbers on this Kuril Island quake. I will tonight, and I'll have more information on it. And I will publish that information here and over in our social media area here on the Freedom Revolution Network, Emergency Management Associates, and also on our Facebook page and our web page as well. But right now, the 6.9 magnitude earthquake stands. If it's larger than that, we will report it to you. That I promise you. Also, today, we've had quite a number of other earthquakes that we need to talk about. I'm going to enlarge this map to show you what has actually gone on today. Let's go down here to South America, over here to the west coast of Peru. Approximately 57 kilometers, or approximately 35 miles south of Acari, Peru, we have a 5.0 magnitude earthquake. Again, this is 30 miles off the coast. If it had been a stronger quake, we would have had more felt reports, but there are frankly not that many felt reports in regards to this. And in fact, let's go over here to the back seismologist study page on this earthquake. Right now, we have one felt report. One felt report to the USGS. That will tell you a lot. That will tell you a lot. Let's go over here and click on origins. Let's go to the back seismologist study page. Okay, this is how you get to the study page, folks. Again, it shows a 5.0 magnitude earthquake, 57 kilometers, approximately 35 miles south of Acari, Peru. Magnitudes. Let's click on magnitudes here. Okay, it shows a 5.0 earthquake here and another one here. Very interesting. Why does this earthquake only show 15 stations reporting, but it shows no station details? What are they trying to hide, USGS? What are you trying to hide? This other earthquake, also 5.0. Okay, same place, same location. Why is it reporting 118 stations? I'd love to have them answer that. Okay, this is how you get to the back seismologist study page on this. I wanted to show you this. I've wanted to show you for a long time. I just did. As you can see, there's 118 stations reporting. Let's just visually quickly look and see what we have here. Again, this is a 5.0. We've got a 5.1, 5.18, 5.12, 5.2. Got a bunch of fours in here. A lot of fours in here. 5.38, 5.02, 5.1, 5.2. This was probably a 5.0 magnitude earthquake. 5.26, 5.4, 5.28, 5.0, 5.16, 5.4, 5.48, 5.12, 5.31, and it goes on and on and on here. I'm just briefly scrolling through the numbers here. Here's a 3.71. This looks like it's probably the lowest magnitude reading of all. We can throw that one out, which is the low end. So we'll throw that 3.71 out, and then let's look for high end magnitudes, and we'll throw out the high end magnitude. Excuse me. 5.35, 39, 5.02, 5.07, 5.08, 5.21. Okay, we have some 5.38. We have several like that. 5.1. Looks like a 5.38 is probably the highest one. Here's another one. We have two 5.38s. Which I thought we did. Okay, those are the two high ends. So we'd throw those two out plus a 3.71, and then we come up with 115 earthquakes that they say we have. Now, in the past, and I'm not going to do it tonight on this quake or any other quake right now on the air, but quite frankly, I have counted a lot more than 118 earthquakes in some cases. When they've said there was 118, there's usually a lot more than that. And I'm talking 20 or 30 more than that. So again, I'm not going to go through and count them, and I'm not going to go through and add them up and then divide them by 115. Because usually I count the numbers, and then I go through and add them all up and divide that by the number of reporting stations. And then you get a good average of what this earthquake actually was. But right now, we'll take it as a 5.0 over here off the coast of Peru. That wasn't the only earthquake that happened. We have another 5.0 here to report as well, over here off the coast of Iquique, Chile. Iquique, Iquique, Chile. This is a place where we've had 8.0 activity in previous years. Not continuous years, but a previous year, we had an 8.0 here. So we've had two 5.0s in Chile and Argentina. They're not Argentina, Chile and Peru. This earthquake here off the coast of Peru does not have any aftershocks. Okay, and the only aftershock anywhere near this one off the coast of Chile showed a 4.4. 4.4. Now, if you look down here, this happened at 06:36:28 UTC. This one happened at 05:50. So the 05:50 earthquake was the main shock. This earthquake over here, this 4.4 moderate quake, was an aftershock of this 5.0. Okay, going up here to Peru, we have no aftershocks listed, which is highly suspicious. Even 5.0 earthquakes usually have aftershocks associated with them. USGS is showing a 4.2 moderate quake over here in Calama, Chile, near the border with Argentina. This happened at 1322. Excuse me, it did not. It happened at 22:23:31 today. So this earthquake happened this afternoon over here in Calama, Chile. Okay, so we have that. We have that. Okay, we also have some more earthquakes to report over here in Vanuatu. Now, we have said, we've actually shown you moderate earthquakes over here in Fiji and the south of Fiji, that we said that there would be larger earthquakes, even larger than what we're seeing here in Vanuatu and the Solomon Islands for that matter. This earthquake today was a 5.1 here in Vanuatu. We're still expecting a near 6 or a 6.0 or larger here in Vanuatu or the Solomon Islands. But we had another large earthquake over here in Vanuatu, 114 kilometers, and this looks like it's probably close to 60 miles deep. So this earthquake may have originated in the asthenosphere, down where the magma is, the plastic magma flowing beneath the plate. Okay, it's a fairly deep quake. Not the deepest, it's a fairly deep quake. Over here in Kira Kira, Solomon Islands today, we've had a moderate 4.6. This was a fairly shallow quake, 98 kilometers, which basically is about 52, 53 miles deep. So a moderate quake in the Solomon Islands today. Let's go over here, further west, over in Papua New Guinea today. We had a large 5.2 magnitude quake, 123 kilometers south of Taron, Papua New Guinea. This may, in fact, be an aftershock of larger earthquakes last year that we had here in the same location at Taron, Papua New Guinea. It's 5.2. Okay, let's go further east or west and north to an earthquake that just happened a short time ago. A moderate 4.7 magnitude earthquake hit 157 kilometers northeast of Chichishima, Japan. Chichishima, Japan, in the Ryukyu Islands out here off the southeast coast of Japan. Chichishima, Japan, with a moderate 4.7 today. Going north, and this is not the only earthquakes. We're just giving you the highlights of earthquakes because USGS is not reporting them all, and they won't. We've proven that. Going north, we had this 6.9, 7.1. Came in as a 7.1. It's now been downgraded to 6.9 in the Kuril Islands, right here between Japan. This is Hokkaido, Japan. This is Kamchatka, Russia. This one is in the open ocean between Japan and Kamchatka, Russia. It is probably close to some uninhabited islands. We pray that these islands where it hit near are unoccupied. Okay, because a 7.0 magnitude quake would be quite devastating if they hit out here in the Kuril Islands, and those islands may have been inhabited. It could mean there's death and serious injury there and quite a bit of damage. Again, we have no proof of that. We have not gotten any substantial proof that it hit near any occupied island at all. But it hit out here. It hit out here. It's the open Pacific going into the Sea of Okhotsk. This is the Sea of Okhotsk up here just west of Kamchatka, the Sea of Okhotsk. This is the Pacific here, the Eastern Pacific, the Western Pacific here. Okay, let's go over to the Aleutian Islands. We have a 4.9 magnitude quake, a 4.9, 5.0. Again, I don't trust the or I don't trust the Point Nine Society at all. Point Nine Society usually doesn't know what they're talking about. I'm trusting that this earthquake was probably a 5.0. Okay, this was 64 kilometers south-southwest of Kiska volcano. Kiska volcano. Now, if we had a large earthquake near Kiska volcano, I would look and see, and that's what we're going to show you now. I'm looking to see now what we have in that area. Because again, I don't trust that they're giving us the correct information. So we're going to go over to the EMSC and pull up the map and see what we actually have. Okay, so bear with me just a second here. Okay, this was further south in the Aleutian Island area along the fracture zone track. Excuse me a second. Let me reduce this map here. Okay, I'm going to show you this here. This was actually in the area of the fracture zone. This is a fracture zone. The islands are just north of the fracture zone. Okay, just north of the fracture zone. Okay, I'm going to reduce the light here on this because I want to get even closer here. You notice where the earthquake is in relationship to the volcano here? Let's zoom in on the volcano. Again, they've got this as a 4.9 south of the volcano. So let's go check the volcano. The volcano is on the northern part of the island. And we don't really have a good shot of it. We've only got a cutoff of the satellite view. Okay, this part is the cutoff of the satellite view. This is Kiska volcano on the north side of the island here. Okay, so the earthquake actually happened quite a distance. I'm going to bring up the earthquake again. You can see the location of the volcano in comparison with the earthquake here. Okay, that's what's actually going on. And that's not the only earthquake that happened today up there, folks, up in the Aleutian Islands. We had another large earthquake that was reported there. And with that, we had 3 other smaller earthquakes. This was another 5.0, 76 miles south-southwest of Atka, Alaska. Again, this is in the open ocean out there in the northern Pacific. Okay, as you can see, there are 3 other smaller earthquakes here. This earthquake was just north of the fracture zone. This is the earthquake fault fracture zone here. You notice some craters here, seamounts here, quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4 seamounts right there. And you might even call this a seamount as well. And then there's another cone there, or crater. So it's right near a bunch of craters. Okay, now this earthquake occurred this morning at 8:26 a.m. Mountain Time, Mountain Standard Time in the United States. There was a foreshock late last night at 11:52. There was a There was an aftershock of a 3.6. That's an aftershock. This up here was a foreshock. And then we have this one that happened 2 minutes after the other aftershock here. This one happened 2 minutes later. This one, I'm sorry it went away, is a 4.2, a moderate 4.2. This one going northwest was a 3.6. That was an aftershock. And this one was a 4.6, was a foreshock. So we got one foreshock and two aftershocks with this 5.0. Okay. And again, this was south of Atka Island, Atka volcano. Okay. That volcano, let me show you. You notice where Atka Island is? You see the volcano here? That's the relationship of the earthquakes to that volcano. Okay, the earthquakes were very south of that volcano. As you can see, there's a picture of the volcano, a satellite view of the volcano. Okay, so that's what happened in the Aleutian Islands today. Okay, there were other earthquakes today over there as well on the south end, the southwestern end of the Alaska Peninsula, just north of Cheeshalden Volcano in Cold Bay. We have a 1.3, very minor earthquake. Then as we go north, we have a 2.7 at King Salmon, Alaska. Increase in magnitude. A 2.1 Larsen Bay. I'm sorry, it went away. 2.1 in Larsen Bay. Then Old Alama, we have a 2.5. Old Alama volcano, there's also a town named Alama. Here's another 2.6 at Old Alama. And near the coast entrance to the Cook Inlet, we have a 2.1 at King Salmon. So we have two earthquakes associated with the Old Alama volcano here. Let's go north. Mount Redoubt volcano. We have a 2.0 there. A 2.0, a 2.4, and a 1.6. Three small earthquakes associated with Mount Redoubt. Across the Cook Inlet, going north and east, Coho, Alaska, we have a 1.8 and a 2.21 at Soldotna, Alaska. Okay. Going up the coast here of the Cook Inlet, Tyanek, Alaska, 3.6 and a 1.5. Here's a 3.6 at Tyanek. Okay. North of Anchorage, Willow, Alaska, 1.8 and a 1.5. Willow, Alaska. Now, I'm going to show you the swarm of earthquakes that we have north of Anchorage here. This is Anchorage down here. Willow, Alaska, we reported about those two earthquakes there. Going up into Denali and Mount McKinley area, Denali National Park and Mount McKinley, it appears that we have a direct hit on the summit of Mount McKinley. Let's zero in on that. Okay. It's actually not a direct hit. It's on the southeastern flank. The southeastern flank of Mount McKinley. A 2.1 magnitude earthquake, southeastern flank. Going northeast, we have a 1.8 and a 1.7. and a 1.7. And guess what, folks? Only a handful of earthquakes north of there. Ferry, Alaska, 2.0. Denali, Ferry, Alaska, 2.0. And north of there, a 1.5 near Esther, Alaska, and another Fairbanks at 1.5. Ferry, Alaska, and Fairbanks, both with 1.5 magnitude earthquakes. Minor, very minor earthquakes. Let's go north. Fort Yukon, Alaska. Now this is up at the Arctic Circle. This is on the east end of the Arctic Circle here in Alaska. Fort Yukon, we have a 2.6. Now we have one earthquake above the Arctic Circle. This one is a 2.9, just north of Arctic Village. Arctic Village is down here. This is just north of Arctic Village, a 2.9. So seismic activity is creeping north. We've reported earthquakes at Kobuk, Alaska before. This time last year, we had a 6.3. Today, we've had another 1.7 magnitude earthquake in Kobuk. This is the northwestern part of Alaska, Kobuk, Alaska here. Okay, one other earthquake much west of there, above the hand. Okay, I consider this the hand. It looks like a pointing finger. Look where this earthquake is. Up here along, almost on that little bit of a spit of island, or not island, a spit of land. Noatak, Alaska, we have a 2.5. A 2.5 up there. So seismic energy is moving and continues to move. Continues to move. Now we have seismic energy that's gone to the southeast part of Alaska near Cape Yakutaka. We've reported on this before. We have a 1.1 and a 1.7 magnitude earthquake near Cape Yakutaka, Alaska, southeast Alaska. Okay, and notice where that fault zone goes. The Aleutian Island fault goes right up here and then makes the bend over here near Valdez, and then starts headed back down southeast and goes down the North American Craton, the outer edge of the North American Craton. Okay, and that's where you have Cape Yakutaka out there. They're having earthquakes down there. Now, over near Queen Charlotte's Island, 35 miles south of the village of Queen Charlotte's Island, we have a 1.6 magnitude earthquake today. 1.6. Yes, this has very much to do with Cascadia. Okay, that's Queen Charlotte's Island. Now, look at what's happened over here in the Pacific Northwest. Let's talk about that. Let's start up here near Victoria. 1.8 there, near the south point of Victoria Island, British Columbia, 1.6. Granite Falls, Washington, a 1.98. Let's go down here just south of the Puget Sound. Ocean Shores, we have a 3.16. Ocean Shores, a 3.16. Notice where the Cascadia subduction zone goes here. This is right along the coast of Washington. The Cascadia subduction zone skirts the shore of the island, or not island, the shore of the coast. Skirts the coast shore. Okay, let's go inland again. Southworth, Washington, we have a 0.82. Now I can just hear everybody saying, why is Ron spouting off the numbers 0.82 small minor quakes? Because, folks, there are other quakes here that we need to pay attention to, and I want to show those to you. Entist, Washington, east of the Cascades. Entist, Washington, 0.15. Just east of there, also in Entist, 0.82. Okay, that's some 0.82, 0.75, right next to each other in Entist, Washington. Okay, just southeast of there in Othello, Washington, we have a 1.98. Okay, let's go west. Let's go back west. Okay, 0.66, 17 miles northwest of Packwood, Washington. What do we have at Packwood? Can you say volcano? Right there. We have a volcano. Now, what might that be? What might that be? Let's show you what it is and where that earthquake is. This is right at the summit of Mount Rainier, a 0.66, right at the summit of Mount Rainier. Okay, we have video. We have video of Mount Rainier steaming. We have shown you seismograms of Mount Rainier steaming off. Remember how we showed you those long spikes, and then we had a curve in there? Steaming, folks. Now we have another earthquake right at the summit. What do you think that is? That's magma just under the plug at Mount Rainier. Just under the plug at Mount Rainier. Look at the well-defined crater there. Unfortunately, this is not a current satellite photo. It's not a current satellite photo. Or we can see that there's bare rock there because of the steam going off. The molten lava just beneath the surface. It's melted it off. Well, we're talking about Rainier. We have multiple reports, both from civil authorities and other people, telling us about the lahars that are going on Mount Rainier and around the park. Yes, folks, they're lahars. The authorities can say, oh, those aren't lahars, they're just avalanches or landslides. What is causing it? Magma beneath the surface that's heating up the snowpack from underneath, ice and snow from underneath, that's causing that snow and ground cover to slide down the mountain. It's called lahar. And then on top of that, we have moisture that's hitting that slope in the form of rain and some snow. But we have lahars going down the mountain. Now I'm going to show you a couple more earthquakes here before we leave Washington. And then I'm going to talk to you about some other things that are going on. Okay, this next earthquake is a 0.05 magnitude earthquake. Yes, I understand 0.05 is a very small earthquake. But where it happened is very important to you. It happened 23 miles north-northeast of Amboy, Washington. 23 miles north-northeast of Amboy, Washington. Right at the top of the summit, at the rim of Mount St. Helens crater. The rim of Mount St. Helens. Now, how often do we get two earthquakes hitting the summit of a volcano at the same time? Maybe not at the same time, hour and minute, but the same day. Both the volcanoes are active. Both of the volcanoes we can show by instrument readings that both of these volcanoes have magma coming up inside the volcano. Folks, we have another hit at the summit of the volcano in Washington State. Okay. Then we go south to Eagle Creek, Oregon. We have a 1.49 magnitude earthquake 3 miles southwest of Sandy, Oregon. Southwest of Sandy, Oregon. Then, over in southern Oregon, near the California border, we have a 1.59 magnitude earthquake 12 miles southeast of Cottage Grove, Oregon, a 1.59 magnitude quake. Okay. So we actually have another earthquake we want to tell you about. And this is further south near the California border and east, 29 miles east-southeast of Lakeview, Oregon, a 1.8. A 1.8. So we had two earthquakes near the California border, and the others 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 earthquakes up along the northwest corridor of Washington State. Two of them at the summit of volcanoes. Fascinating, huh? And then, yet they try to tell us, no, we don't have lahars at Mount Rainier or anywhere else. Oh, there's not really any seismic activity, and yet we can still show you seismograms of the area, proving that to be a fallacy. Proving that to be a fallacy. All right. Have we shown you enough evidence yet? We still have more earthquakes to show you. And we have not even gone down. Yeah, we started in the South Pacific. We ended up in Asia. We haven't even gone over into Europe or the Middle East today. But these are important areas, folks. Very important areas. And we're not done here. Okay? Seeley Lake, Montana. Seeley Lake, Montana. 0.16. Now, I named a volcano after me. I named a volcano after me over here at Seeley Lake. There's a volcanic cone here, a crater, the Tyler Crater, up near Seeley Lake, Alaska, or Seeley Lake, Montana. Seeley Lake, Montana, with a 0.16 earthquake today. Southeast of there, Belgrade, Montana, a 0.87. Darn, I wish it wouldn't do that. 0.87 near Belgrade, Montana. That's not the only one, folks. Southwest in Challis, Idaho, which is the western part of the Yellowstone magma chamber, we have a 1.56 magnitude earthquake. Darn it. 1.56 magnitude earthquake near Challis, Idaho, the western end of Yellowstone magma chamber. And going southeast, this one's 16 miles east-northeast of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We have a 1.33. 1.33 near Jackson, Wyoming. Now, we're only showing 4 earthquakes in the Yellowstone area. We know there are a lot more. You need to check out Mary Greeley's report on this. I think you're going to be fascinated with Mary Greeley's report. She's accurate, and there's probably another 20 earthquakes on top of this that they're not reported. And she's showing seismograms. Okay. Check out Mary Greeley. All right. Let's go down to central Utah, to a place that we have talked about earthquakes hitting before. And this again has to do with lava, volcanism, a 0.45 magnitude earthquake near Beaver, Utah. The Black Rock Desert volcano area, Beaver, Utah. Okay. There's quite a bit of magma out here. Beaver, Utah. Now, let's go over to California. Okay, we have 20 plus earthquakes over here at the geysers. 20 plus earthquakes at the geysers. Let's go east of there. We got Downeyville, California, with 0.6. We have Reno, Nevada, 0.6. And we have Cold Springs, Nevada, 0.7. So we have 2 0.6s, one near Reno, Cold Springs, and this one, this other one was a Mogul, Nevada, 0.6, and Reno is 0.6. So actually we have 3 0.6s and a 0.7 out there, up near the border of Northern California and Nevada. Now these next earthquakes, okay, one is southeast of San Francisco. Alum Rock is 0.7. 0.7. Notice where the San Andreas Fault is. San Francisco is right up in here. Monterey Bay is right here. These next group of earthquakes are just south and east of Monterey Bay, right on the San Andreas Fault. Let's check it out. Okay. We have a cluster of earthquakes. The cluster of earthquakes on the east and west side of the San Andreas Fault. Okay, let's go over to the east side first. Right on the San Andreas Fault, as we reported, actually we didn't report this, this occurred after the report, after our report last night, after we went off the air. Tres Pinos. Remember the 4.7 that they tried telling us was a 4.7? It was actually a 5.2. Yeah, I took the records. I went to the back seismologist study page. about 5 months ago. It was not a 4.7. Yet today we have two earthquakes. Last night and today we have a 2.06. And this morning and late last night we had a 2.4 or 2.14. Tres Pinos. Okay. East of there, we had another 0.82, also in Tres Pinos. So we've had three earthquakes. Let's make it a fourth. 2.14, 2.06, 0.82, and a 3.8 or 3.69. 3.69 Tres Pinos. Okay. You might hear a little baby crying. My almost year and a half old granddaughter's up there giving her mother and grandmother a run for their money. So I'm sorry if you hear a little girl crying. She just wants more than just attention. Okay. I don't see any oil and gas pumping operations anywhere near here. I see a farm. I see fields. Like you said, a farmhouse here. Oh, but guess what I just found? An oil and gas pumping operation. An oil and gas pumping operation. Let's show you where that earthquake is. The earthquakes are just south of there, probably about a mile, mile and a half south of this oil and gas pumping operation here. Earthquakes, pumping operation. Okay. So there is oil and gas out there. Let's go west. Tres Pinos again, a 2.13 and a 1.6. So we've had six earthquakes in the Tres Pinos area. 4 on the east side of the San Andreas, and 3 more on the west side of San Andreas. And I didn't point this one out. This is a 1.81, darn it, a 1.81 magnitude shaker. Okay, it's a minor quake. Let me show you where this is. This one is on a ridge, or actually just north of a ridge. We have the ridge showing right there. And this is just south and above the ridge. I'm sorry you guys heard that. That was my daughter. And I'll be talking to her. But this is a 1.8 magnitude quake at Tres Pinos. So we've had 7 earthquakes in the past 12 hours, well, almost 24 hours, about 22 hours. 7 earthquakes around Tres Pinos. And that's not the only ones in that area, because there's more. Let's continue to go south along the San Andreas Fault here. You can see the fault. You almost don't even need this line indicating where the fault is. You can see it. This earthquake is at the Pinnacles. This is a 1.28 magnitude earthquake. And you can see the lava along this fault. So not only do we have a fault, but we have volcanism going on there as well. Okay. We have a lot of erosion. That looks like a cone, a crater that has been well eroded over the years, like the Pleistocene era. Okay. More volcanism, lava fields. The Pinnacles is full of lava. There's another view of another crater. Okay. And there's the earthquake. There's the earthquake. Again, this is 1.28 at the Pinnacles, just along the San Andreas Fault. Now I see some other information that I'm going to check out real quick. I see another crater there. This is east of the earthquake. East of the earthquake. I see a fissure that's off to the side of there. Got a fissure. Right there. All right. So that's around the Pinnacles and south of the Pinnacles, southwest of the Pinnacles there. Let's continue going south. More earthquake activity right on the fault, a 1.27 magnitude quake here also at the Pinnacles, just south, about 2 or 3 miles south of the other one, also at the Pinnacles. This is south of there, a 1.16, also at the Pinnacles. Okay. You can see the volcanism going on in that area. It's very apparent what kind of area it is. Sorry, I had Google trying to tell me whatever they want to tell me, and I cut it off. But you can see the volcanism going on. All right. I kind of think that points out where we're at. What is going on? What is going on? Okay, before we go too much further south, we need to go over to the east and visit Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth Mountain has a small swarm going on. 0.42, 1.12, 0.73, 0.76, 0.61 around Mammoth Mountain. Then just east of there, what do we have? Can you say Round Valley? Round Valley, California, 2.09 and a 2.57. What do we have at Round Valley? Another volcano. Okay, east of Mammoth, which we just saw there. East of Mammoth, we have Longs Valley and Round Valley down here to the south. Okay, we have more volcanism going on. We have more volcanism going on. See a cone right over in here? One there, another up in here. More volcanism going on, magma beneath the surface, and we're getting quakes. Now we reported 2 quakes, there's actually 4. We have a 2.09, we have a 1.36, a 2.57, and a 1.27. 4 earthquakes in that same area. Okay, 4 earthquakes. And it continues. And it continues. Okay. South of the Pinnacles, on the east side of the San Andreas Fault, we got a town called Avenal, Avenal, 1.07 earthquake, just east of the San Andreas. Okay. Now we are getting into an area not far from Santa Barbara, Goleta, California, 1.89, right along the coast of California down there. Okay. And then what do we have going out here in the desert? In the desert. Coso Junction, folks. Coso Junction. 1.46, 1.32, 1.27, and the swarms continue. Bingo, bango, boingo, Little Lake, California. Little Lake, California. What do we have here? 0.89, 1.49, 0.88, 1.71. Fascinating, huh? Volcanism. We have eroded cones, and we have small depressions where we had magma coming up at one point in time out in the middle of the desert, the Mojave Desert. There's a 0.69 at Little Lake. There's no lake at all. It's all sand and scrub brush. 0.91, 1.19, 0.64. We drop down to Ridgecrest. We have a 1.34 in Ridgecrest. 1.34, 1.54 in Ridgecrest. Searles Valley, 0.66. And the beat goes on. Further south, more earthquakes. 1.65 Ridgecrest, 0.71, 0.14, 179, 1.65 Ridgecrest, 1.20 Ridgecrest, 1.31 Searles Valley, 2.3, 2.3 Searles Valley. What we're seeing, folks, what we're seeing is that all that seismic energy has not stopped. It's continuing, and it's going to continue. Here's another 0.91 at Ridgecrest. This is 9 miles east-southeast of Ridgecrest. 0.35, 13 miles east-southeast of Ridgecrest. The whole area is moving. The whole area is moving. About 30, 40 earthquakes out there in that same area. In that same area where we had those magnificent 6.9, 7.1 earthquakes, July 4th and 5th. Remember that? Remember that, folks? I just was looking for some information here I wanted to show you, and it's eluding me. All right. Let's go further south. Let's go further south. Rosamond, California, on the south east side of San Andreas, just south of the Garlock Fault, a 1.21. The Garlock up here, 1.21 over here in Roseman, California. And it's just east of the north and east of the San Andreas. Okay, let's go over here on the west side. Pacoima, California, 1.96. Pacoima is a nice area. I've been there many times. Pacoima, California, 1.96. Let's continue going south and east. 0.99 in Bradbury, California. Continuing down the San Andreas Fault, Little Creek, California, 0.57. Muscoy, California, 0.9. On the west side, Beaumont, California, 0.74. More stuff here. More stuff. Arcadia, California, 0.76. Going south. Every time I see this, well, before I go there, Ludlow, California, out in the desert east of the San Andreas. Ludlow, California got hit, 1.04. Barstow got hit with a 1.03 today, 1.03. Big Bear, California, 0.85 and 1.43 Big Bear banning area. Big Bear is covered with snow. They got snow skiing going on. Let's continue south. A place that I lovingly refer to as Lake Smell-Some-More, Lake Elsinore, California, 0.88. The Elsinore Fault, 0.88 today. Lake Elsinore, right there. Doggone it. Right there, Lake Elsinore. Why do I refer to it, and why do a lot of people refer to it as Lake Smell-Some-More? Because Lake Elsinore doesn't have a real outlet, and it doesn't have a lot of water coming into it. And so in the summertime, that water stagnates and starts smelling. You can imagine Lake Elsinore in the middle of the summer. Hot Southern California summers. Idlewild, California, over in the Anza Gap area. The Anza Gap got hit today. 1.18, 0.68, 0.69 going into Aguanga, California, into northern San Diego. Borrego Springs on the northeast end of San Diego County, at the top north part of the Chocolate Mountains. We have 1.47 and a lot more activity coming down here. 1.47, 1.21, 1.85, 0.76, 0.83. Okay. Then we're going down to Julian, California. Julian, California with a 1.02. Gosh, I wish it wouldn't do that. 1.02, and Julian got hit several times today. Okay. Going south, 0.59, 0.57. So the Apple capital of San Diego got hit today. 3 different minor earthquakes. Then I want to take you offshore, slightly off the coast of La Jolla, California, 9 miles west of La Jolla. We had a 1.01 today. A 1.01, 9 miles west of La Jolla. Okay. Now I'm going to try to go in here and actually, that's interesting. Because that is South La Jolla. That is South La Jolla. In fact, I will show you something here. This is Mission Bay, California. Mission Bay, San Diego. That's Mission Bay. They're showing the earthquake as La Jolla, and it's actually not La Jolla. It's South La Jolla, or south of La Jolla in Mission Bay. This is Mission Bay here. La Jolla is up here. La Jolla is very much up here. I wanted to show you, if I can zero into it, get close. I wanted to show you the Scripps Oceanographic Pier. The Scripps Oceanographic Company, part of the UC San Diego system, University of California, Scripps Pier. Bingo, there it is. Here is the Scripps Pier in La Jolla. The Scripps Pier in La Jolla. See the surf right here? I used to surf this area. This is called La Jolla Shores here. I used to surf that area quite frequently. Quite frequently. But that's Scripps Pier. And that earthquake is probably, I want to say maybe 4 miles southwest of Scripps, 4 miles southwest of La Jolla. So it's actually, this is Mission Bay. Mission Bay, San Diego. Okay. La Jolla, Scripps Pier is right up in here. Just so you know. I just gave you a little bit of geography lesson about San Diego. Why? Because I used to live there. Negotiator used to live there. We've been there many, many, many times. Anyway, let's get back to earthquakes. Ocotillo, California. Over at the top of the Chocolate Mountains, a 1.02 magnitude earthquake. This is the Salton Sea, the Salton Butte volcano right down in here. Okay, Ocotillo, top of the Chocolate Mountains. Okay, south of there, Campo, California, on the on the west side of the Chocolate Mountains, San Diego County, a 1.17 today at Campo. South of there, south of the border, not that far from Ensenada, 36 miles east of Manadero, Baja California, east of Ensenada, we have a 2.33. So the coast of California going down into Mexico is shaking. We have nothing more to report to you over at the Salton Sea. It's quiet. It's being a silent zone. What happens when we have silent zones? We tend to have earthquake activity, sometimes a lot of earthquake activity. Okay, let's go over to Oklahoma. Oklahoma, where my wind comes sweeping down the plains. Moreland, Oklahoma, 1.55 today. Doggone it. There it is, Moreland, Oklahoma. Just north and east of there in Carmen, Oklahoma, 1.68. Let's go south. Minco, Oklahoma, 0.95. South of Minco, 1.47 in Chickasha, Oklahoma. And just east of there in Ninica, Oklahoma, a 1.93. And we got one more earthquake here, north and east of there in Catoosa, Oklahoma, a 1.40. Now, since we don't usually report earthquakes up in Catoosa, let's check this. Let's just check this and see what we have. Let's check and see what we have in Catoosa, Oklahoma. Bingo. Oil and gas pumping operation just east of the earthquake. There you got it, folks. There you got it. That's one. That's an abandoned plot. Let me show you another one here. Where there's one, there's many. Bingo. It's another one. Anyway, this whole area is full of oil and gas pumping operations. It's full of it. Every one of these earthquakes in Oklahoma is surrounded by oil and gas pumping operations. There's another one, exactly like the other one. Oil and gas pumping operations near Catoosa and all over Oklahoma. 586,000 pumps and jacks all over Oklahoma. See for yourself, look at them. They're all over. They're all over the place. It never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze me. To be right in the middle of a neighborhood, right in the middle of an industrial area, right in the middle of a field. It blows my mind. It just really blows my mind where they put them. But that's what happened in Oklahoma today, folks. We had our share of earthquakes here. Oklahoma, it's all oil and gas pumping operation. The drill points that they use to go down into the surface to get oil and gas, Every one of those holes is a man-made earthquake fault. Every one of them. Okay. Over here along the East Coast, we don't have anything today like we've had over in North Carolina and Tennessee. Today we don't have anything, and nothing over in Canada there as well. Before we leave the air, it's already 7:53. We've had such a great time tonight. Let's go over here to our wonderful friends over here in Puerto Rico. Southwestern Puerto Rico. Dominic, I will call you. I know you're listening. I will call you. I've just been so darn busy this week. Okay. 3.36, 0 miles south of Guanica. That's where Dominic is. 3.36 today. 3.20. East southeast of Maria Antonia, Puerto Rico. 3.2. Southeast of Indios, 1.6. 2.5 in Taloboa, Puerto Rico, 2.59. Look at all these that hit land here. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7 earthquakes that hit on land. 2.3, excuse me, 2.59 there. 2.38. Same town, near the same town. Up here to the north. 0 miles south, in other words, right at Magas, Arriba, Puerto Rico, 2.62. And then we have these offshore. They're still getting hit. They're still getting hit. 2.94 out at sea, 3.15. Doggone it. 3.15 there. And then a bunch of them out here. 2.3. 3.05, 2.12, 3.1, 2.9, 2.0, 2.65, 2.92. They're getting hit right and left, folks. Getting hit right and left. Now these minor earthquakes off the coast. The people over in on land probably aren't feeling them. But once these small earthquakes hit the shore, they're feeling them because of the bedrock. These small earthquakes seem like great big huge storms hitting underneath the ground because of the bedrock. And Dominic explained that where he was the other day when we talked to him last week. So Puerto Rico's getting hit today. North of the Dominican Republic, up near the Cayman Trench, we had a 2.96 and a 3.3 northeast of the, northwest of the Dominican Republic. Very close to the Cayman Ridge up there. Okay, that's what's going on down there. South America, Central America got hit. 3.1 on the northeast end of Costa Rica. They're getting hit. Southern Mexico had a 5 yesterday. More swarms, Southern Mexico. 3.8s, 3.5s, 3.6s, 3.8s, 4.0. Gosh, I wish that wouldn't do that. Here's a 4.0 just off the coast. Those guys are getting hammered here, folks. These threes, they're feeling. They're feeling 3.1, 3.5, 3.5 especially, they're going to feel. 3.1s, maybe not so much, depending on the bedrock. 3.7, San Marcos Guerrero. San Marcos, Guerrero, Mexico. They're getting hammered down there in southern Mexico. Over here into the central coast of Mexico, they're still getting hit up into the Pampas area, the fields out there in the desert of Mexico, 3.5s, 3.6s, 3.1s, 3.0s. And then there's 20 earthquakes out here. See, it goes out into the desert here. We have a few earthquakes near the coast here. Cualcomán, 3.4, 4.3. And then going into the central part of Mexico, 3.5s, 3.6s, 3.6, and we still have a 10 plus there too. They're all threes, folks. They're all threes on the interior there. But they're getting hit. And they're getting hit hard and heavy. Now, I will just give you a brief update on the volcanoes. Popocatépetl is erupting. Popocatépetl is erupting today. San Dieguito volcano over in Guatemala. San Dieguito volcano is erupting. No significant changes in it. That and Fuego volcano have been erupting. Piton de la Fournaise in Reunion Island, on Reunion Island, down there south of France, just north of Algeria, is still having activity. They're calling it cone building, meaning the volcano is still spitting up molten lava and building itself a cone. Piton de Fournaise. Okay, that's down at Reunion Island. So that's what's going on, folks. We've given you a brief overview of everything that's going on down there. Everything that's going on. If you have any more questions, I will stay here for a short while and we can take some questions here. We can take some questions here. Okay. Okay, I'm back here in the chat room. Laura McCoven and Larry Smith have been talking, and Larry lives down in Central America, in Belize. And Laura says, Larry, I've been there, but it sounds like a beautiful place where you live. I have an aunt that lives in area of Ecuador. She's the founder of a place that serves meals to the elderly, indigenous, and provides medical care for them. And that's great, Laura. That's wonderful. Tell your family thank you for that. And they need it. They really need it. Marshall says, thank you. We appreciate that. We really do, Marshall. I buy two buy. Thank you for being here. T-Bird, thank you for being here. Melissa, thank you. I'm going to get off here so that other show can start. I'm sorry we went a little bit long. I hope you all have a wonderful night. God bless you, and do know that we love you. We love you very much. As Walter Cronkite would say, and that's the way it is. That's what he said, and that's the way it is. Thursday, February 13th, 2019. For Emergency Management Associates, this is Ron Tyler. Have a great evening, folks. God bless.